Hello again. So you're back from your vendor event and you have hopefully some information from some people who are interested in Plexus, interested in health, wellness, weight loss, pain relief, whatever it is they're interested in. You know a little about them and you're ready to follow up. So what do? The first thing that I do after a vendor event is to get an email out to everybody who I have emails for. And I make sure that my link is in it so that they could go directly over from that email and order. If they're interested, if they're that excited and that ready to order, they've got it right in front of them and they won't wind up on somebody else's page or go to Plexus Worldwide and not remember your demonstrator number or whatever. They've got everything right there in their computer, their handheld device, whatever they're on, so that they're ready to order if they'd like to. Now, that's not most people. Most people need to hear about this more than once, or twice, or 3 times, or 4 times. You know, they need to hear about it quite a lot. So if you have their Facebook name, send them a friend request. If you can find them on Facebook, send them a friend request. It's a great first step. And that way they're getting, drip, 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 a little more about Plexus. Oh, look what this person did. Look what this person did. There's, this has happened. This has happened. It's like, oh, that's starting to sound pretty good. So those are a couple things I do right away. But I also, my favorite people to reply to are the ones who were interested enough to say, yeah, I'll give you my address. I'd like a note and a sample. Great. Now, I don't stop at a note and a sample because one time I had somebody, a friend of mine, knows me well, a couple months into Plexus, she didn't realize that we sold anything but the pink drink. And I was like, oh, let me get a catalog out to you. I send catalogs out. I only get addresses from the people that I've talked with long enough to know that there is some interest there in Plexus and in what we're doing. So I send out a catalog. I know it costs a little bit of money to mail it, and why wouldn't I just give it there? But a lot of times when I give a catalog at an event, it goes in a bag with everybody else's material. I have brochures and business cards that can go in the bag with everybody else's stuff. And then they'll have they'll have the information. If they're really excited and want to jump online that night, they can jump right online. But the catalogs, when you send out a catalog, you don't generally, when you give a catalog out at an event, you don't generally hear back from the person. You need to make the follow-up. You need to contact them because they're just, hey, I'm not going to go and bother her. That's what they're thinking. And all right, so I'll do the bothering. But it's not bothering. It's sharing. So anyhow, when I send out a catalog to somebody, I like to personalize it. And so I put little pink notes all over it. So you can see this catalog. It says, hi, it says just a little about, our meeting or, how we know each other. Nice to see you. Enjoyed visiting with you, etc. And then throughout the catalog, this is instead of a note card, I just sprinkle my notes through the catalog. So here's a page. This is a product I like a lot. Can you tell? There's pink all over the place. So I just tell a little bit about each of the products, and sometimes what I tell about it is I don't use this one, so I try to let them know a little bit about each thing, a little personal bit about each thing, even if it's just that I don't use it. Here's another page, another sample. It says something about the Fast Relief Cream and the Fast Relief combo, Fast Relief and Nerve Relief. So just a little bit on each page. And I also make sure somewhere in the catalog, usually on something that I don't use, I write a little about how to order. I know I'm holding these things up and you probably can't read it real fast, but I say something about retail ordering, preferred customer ordering, and I make sure that they know that really preferred customer is kind of the way to go, because you can order just once and then cancel the order after, cancel the second shipment after 15 days or change it. You can call up customer service and change it to something else. I've had customers do that. And then I do a little arrow to the side of the wholesale and tell about becoming an ambassador, and, great idea. So anyhow, I personalize those books, and then I send them out with a brochure and a slim sample, and I usually staple the slim sample right to the brochure. so that they can try the product as well. But I've had people really love to get those catalogs that are marked up and personalized. It's not just here's a catalog, it's got, hey, I enjoyed meeting you, and you really want to try this one. It's awesome, or whatever's in there. But it personalizes it. And the next step of following up is just to stay in touch, if you're on Facebook with them, pay attention to their posts a little bit too, and see what they're saying, like some things, and don't be afraid of calling. I know I'm one to talk. When I first got started in direct sales, I was like, I'm not going near that phone. Are you kidding? I don't want to bother people. But when you get hung up on not daring to make the phone calls, it's because it's our ego talking, because we're afraid to bother somebody by selling them something. Well, if we're thinking about selling, we're thinking about us, not them. This is somebody who's expressed an interest in Plexus. This is somebody who's shared something that they're struggling with, or that they'd like to do differently, or see different results. And so you're really calling to ask about them and to find out if there's something that you can share with them to help. So when you get on the phone, be thinking of the other person. And then it's a phone call that, generally speaking, it's a phone call that goes well. And even if a phone call is awkward, which sometimes it happens, then it's still, they're not going to yell at you. They're not going to, unfriend you on Facebook, well, if they did, then they're just really not interested. But, even if it's awkward, people are generally like, that's okay. I'm really not interested right now. Okay. It's kind of like, I know Christy said it before. It's like offering coffee. Want some coffee? No? Okay. Want some coffee? Yeah, sure. Here you go. So, think of it that way. You have something to share with them, that you're just calling to see where they're at, if they're interested, or not, or just to check in with them. And certainly if anybody orders, check in with them too. So just a little bit about following up. And again, don't get frustrated by vendor events where somebody selling candles or jewelry has all kinds of sales going out, or it looks like they have all sorts of sales going out, because somebody can sell $200 or $300 worth of their things at a vendor event, but then they have to find more sales. And I know I sold bags before Plexus, and I loved it, and I had fun. But you could go from a month with $3,000 worth of sales to a month with no sales very quickly. I mean, if you dropped the phone call ball, or if you dropped anything, you wouldn't get orders the next month. And, holiday time, people weren't as interested in getting together and having parties. So, your sales would go, yeah. So the Plexus offers something different. If you're taking the triplex, you don't want to stop taking it for a month. So your preferred customers, they're getting their triplex each month. So you have a base. You don't need to sell something to everybody that comes through the door to do well. And the people that you do interact with and ultimately do business with, you're helping them. They're getting something very real from this product, and it's just amazing when you get to hear the things that have been helped by Plexus and by these great things. So enjoy, and have fun at vendor events, and follow up.